You always acting like you're innocent. Ain't did a thing wrong ever since we met. You act like you don't even feel the same. You really love me, you should be ashamed. You act like none of this is new to you. I swear that what we had was beautiful. Don't even act like you ain't into me. How come you switching up your energy? That's why I know I got it. Follow my own compass, march to my own drum set. I ain't even have fun yet, that's why I got it. Stay down for my day ones, let you know where I came from. Keep me going when I'm banged up. Let me see you do your thing, do your thing, do your thing, yeah. Locked and loaded, pop it, make it bang, yeah. I've been so calm, collected. I could go off in a minute. Nobody else can judge me. God is my only witness. I can't take all.
What's up, Nerd Nation? It's your boy, Chris, back with another Nerds at 9. This is the Average Sports Nerd channel. If you are rocking with me for the first time, definitely appreciate you if you would hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. Those things really help your boy grow, especially those subscriptions. So subscribe, smash that subscribe button, please. Other than that, my boy Recreation, he lets me use his music set of vibes. So if you like the music, go ahead and give him a follow on Instagram, Twitter, any social media, really, any streaming platform for music, he's on there. So Recreation is the name and music is his game. So yeah, other than that, we're gonna get right into it tonight. We're gonna be talking about a little bit of the scoring title race. I think this is pretty interesting with about a little bit more than 10 games left in the season in the NBA here. Also going to talk a little bit about Baker Mayfield. It seems like nobody wants him right now. It's kind of strange to me, but we'll see. And then cap it off with a little bit of MLB news. Season starting in a couple weeks here. Not too much of that, but I will touch on it. So yeah, other than that, if you got anything else you want me to talk about throughout this whole video, if you're with me, live here, hop in the comments. Let me know. I'm definitely down to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So yeah, start off with the scoring title. Obviously, it's LeBron is in it. We've been talking about it a little bit on this channel. A lot of the sports shows out there talking about it right now. Going into last night, it was actually a three-way tie between LeBron, Joel Embiid, and Giannis Antetokounmpo at 29.8 points. But LeBron did go off last night for 38. Had a triple-double with it as well. But that brings his scoring average up to 30 on the dot, so 30.0. So he's 0.2 ahead of the other guys right now. This one's going to be tough. I mean, I really don't know. As the scoring title is one of those things, you don't really know which guy is going to go for it hard. I don't think Giannis is going to go for it. I don't, just from the outside looking in, I don't know. I don't know, like I said, but from the outside looking in, he just seems like the type of guy, especially coming off the championship last year. That's the most important thing. I don't think he's going to go all out trying to get the scoring title or anything like that. Like, maybe the other two guys will. So I'm not going to go with him just for that reason. Even though, looking at his last 5 games, he's averaging 35.8 points a game, which is the most out of these 3. So he could definitely do it. Like, I'm not counting him out by any means, but just like if I had to place a bet on who's going to do it, I just don't think he's going to go for it. Like, if it comes down to the last game of the season and he needs 50 points, like, I think if the other two guys need 50 the last game of the season, like, they would do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? They would go for 50 points, win or lose. They take 40 shots, whatever it takes. I just don't see Giannis doing that if it comes down to it. No, he can still win it just outright even without doing that, but we'll see. Look at the other two. Joel Embiid, 31.4 a game in his last 5. LeBron's up at 32.2 in his last 5. So between the two of them, I think it could go either way for real. LeBron and the Lakers do have the toughest remaining schedule in the entire NBA. So they could go one of two ways. Obviously they're playing better teams, better defense, harder to score. But I think it's going to go the other way, actually. I think, either they're going to be in the games because LeBron is doing incredible things, putting up incredible numbers, or they're just going to be completely out of the games, losing by 20 plus. I mean, obviously every game that they've been down by 20 plus, they haven't lost all of them by that much. So they might, close it at the end. But we know a lot of these games have been out of reach. And LeBron stayed in, I'm not saying he stayed in until the very last second of the game, but he usually stays in, gets his 30 points or so. So I see that continuing to happen. As far as Embiid, I know he is averaging more points, these last few games. But just, I don't know. He missed this last game. Tyrese Maxey went off. Obviously, Harden's there. Harden's setting him up with easier buckets. I'll give him that. But he's also taking a lot of shots because, he's James Harden. And, he should. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But I just think LeBron doesn't have any teammates that are, in that caliber with the James Harden right now to take away scoring from him. I think LeBron's going to win this scoring title. And, after that, it's up to you to decide, what you think that means for his legacy if it does happen. I think it's huge. I'm not gonna move him up above Michael Jordan because he won the scoring title. Michael Jordan did it 10 times. But in terms of other type of arguments, like me and Miles have been having a good argument. It's been ongoing for a little while now, just about who's the better scorer between Kevin Durant and LeBron. Their career averages the last time we were having that talk were the exact same. So it's a good debate. And, Kevin Durant has 4 scoring titles. But, LeBron, if he gets number 2, especially at this age, at 37, his 19th year, that could be big. In debates like that, obviously, just more accolades for, already spectacular career. But I think it's big, and I think if I was LeBron, I would go for it, and I have no problem with him going for it. I know I've seen some people, they don't want him to go for it necessarily, or to, kind of go for it, but low key, not I'm going for the scoring title. But I just don't see why. They don't really have much to play for, and we know that. Anybody who watches this team doesn't think that the Lakers are a championship level team. I haven't even seen any excitement or hype that they're a playing team and they still have LeBron. They could go on a run in the playoffs. Usually, even when LeBron's on a bad team, you would hear things like that. But I'm not hearing that at all from anyone right now. I don't think anybody thinks that even can happen. So why not go for the scoring title? As long as I wouldn't want anything to happen to him in terms of injury or anything, but it's not he still has to play. He's going to play for the playoff or the play-in spot that they're trying to hold on to. So, yeah. LeBron's going to win the scoring title. You heard it here first. I'm sure other people said it first. I always say that, but, yeah, I think LeBron's going to take that. If you guys disagree, let me know why. I think Embiid's actually going to end up in third now that I'm thinking about it. I know I said what I said about Giannis. I wouldn't pick him to win it, but, he's averaging almost 36 a game these last few games. So, like I said, I think either any of these 3 win it, I won't be shocked. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be a good race. It's definitely going to come down to it. And I'm definitely going to get Miles back over here so we could have that debate a little bit more. I don't want to go too much about why Kevin Durant's a better scorer. But I'll let Miles come over here and he can defend himself for sure. So we'll talk about that. But moving on, I did want to talk about Baker Mayfield for a second because I've seen a lot of people going in on him on Twitter, on any social media really. It's been a rough few days or rough week for Baker Mayfield. Obviously, it started with the Browns trying to get Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield didn't like that. Obviously, not many people would. Your team is just clearly saying we got to upgrade at quarterback. We don't think you're the guy after we picked you with the number 1 pick only 4 years ago. So that was tough. Requested the trade. At first they said, no, we're not going to trade you, because Deshaun Watson had apparently told them no, that he wasn't going to go to Cleveland. And then, a couple days later, he ends up going to Cleveland. And now Baker Mayfield, who now they're trying to trade him, and it seems like nobody wants him. And I think that's strange. He was the number 1 overall pick. I'm not going to say that he's been like spectacular or anything, but there's a lot of guys that get, second, third chances at starting in this league. One being Carson Wentz, a guy that went to my team. Obviously, a lot of people might say that's a bad move for my team to go get him. But regardless, he's getting his 3rd chance now. He played in Philly. It eventually didn't work out there. Losing my train of thought. He went on to Indianapolis, didn't work out there last year, and now he's getting a 3rd chance with the Commanders. Other guys like look, Matt Ryan, I guess you can say it worked out in Atlanta. He was a good quarterback for a good period of time. I never thought he was a great quarterback, even when he won the MVP. I never was the biggest Matt Ryan guy. So hey, he's getting a 2nd chance right now in Indianapolis, at 34 years old. You could say that he was better than Baker Mayfield last year. That's opinionated. I don't think either of them was really good, but I think Baker Mayfield in 2020 was better than Matt Ryan was in 2020, and he's a lot younger. So the fact that the Colts just completely didn't want Baker Mayfield and they wanted Matt Ryan, that's strange to me. That doesn't make very much sense in my opinion, just looking from the outside in. Baker's not bad. I'm going to give you guys some stats here, to back it up, so I'm not just rambling off about what I think about Baker Mayfield with no context here. Okay, he's 29 and 30 as a starter. I've seen people criticizing that when he first came on to the Browns, they were 0-16 the year before that. That's the reason they had the number 1 pick and, were able to select him there. They didn't win a single game. So his first season, he went 6-7 as a starter once he actually got in the game, which that's almost 500. It's 29 and 30 for his career. That's kind of, like I said, it's not amazing. It's not earth-shattering numbers, but to come in on the worst team in the league, and if anybody's been watching the Browns, before these last since Baker Mayfield got there, let's say that before these last 3 or 4 years, the Browns were the absolute laughingstock of the league. The worst team, the worst organization. They had so many quarterbacks that they used high draft picks on that they went out and got, and none of them ever worked out because, they were just a terrible organization. So you got to remember that. That's who these Browns were. Baker Mayfield, in some ways, he helped them change the culture of the team and helped them, get to where they are, to a place that Deshaun Watson would even want to consider coming to. So just in that regard, I think he definitely deserves at least a 2nd chance. He's only played 4 years, and I would say 2 of the years were pretty good. His rookie year, after he came in, he was really good. He came in 2nd for rookie of the year that year. I can't remember what, I think it was the Writers Association of America or something. One of those publications voted him the rookie of the year that year. So he was very good as a rookie. Kind of had a down year the 2nd year. They went with Freddie Kitchens as the head coach. Obviously didn't work out. They ended up firing him. But next year, they brought in Stefanski and they went to the playoffs. They were 11-5. He led them to the playoffs that year. He played good. He was looked at as at least a solid quarterback. If nothing else, they won their first playoff game in 26 years, beating the Steelers in Pittsburgh, 48-37 in that one. Like I said, he's not the greatest quarterback in the world. 92 touchdowns and 56 interceptions in his career so far, which, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I'll take that. That's almost 2-1, a little bit less than 2-1 ratio there in the touchdowns and picks. You would ideally, everybody's not Aaron Rodgers going to have, 4-to-1 ratio or whatever his crazy number is. But you can live with that and you can win with that. And they did win with that. They, like I said, 11-5, won a playoff game. I think he deserved a chance. That's all I'm saying. I think these teams are crazy. I think the Colts, I stated that. I think they're crazy. They're crazy. To take a 34-year-old Matt Ryan over Baker Mayfield is crazy to me. To take Marcus Mariota in Atlanta after, I mean, maybe he deserves a second chance too. I mean, look, I think Baker Mayfield in his time in the league so far was better than Marcus Mariota in his time with the Titans. That's just me. I mean, you can agree or disagree with that if you want. I think Baker Mayfield was better in his time so far than Marcus Mariota. Both Baker Mayfield #1 pick, Marcus Mariota #2 pick. So you can't say, Mariota's getting another opportunity because he's a high pick. Like, Baker was a high pick too. And Mariota had to sit out a year. So, hey, maybe Baker does have to sit out a year. Kind of like Jameis. Jameis is another guy who wasn't terrible in his first stop. But, we'll see. We'll see what the Saints choose to do with him too. They re-signed him. So he's looking like he's going to be the starter. He got hurt last year. He was doing pretty good too as the starter for the Saints. So I think it can work, man. I think Baker Mayfield is still young, still has a talent. He's been voted in the top 100 by the players at 2 different times in his 4 years. So that's pretty good if you ask me. But yeah, I'll let you guys talk about that one. I think whatever team gets Baker Mayfield right now, look, the Commanders, we already got Carson Wentz. If there was a way that they could keep some of his contract, or we could get rid of some of Carson Wentz's, I'd take him on the team right now too. I think he's a better quarterback than Wentz. I think he would win the job. But obviously we're not going to do that. We probably shouldn't do that. But that's just, I don't know. Like I said, I think these teams are foolish. Seattle, what are you guys waiting? Don't tell me you're going to season with Drew Lock. Drew Lock deserves a second chance, but Baker Mayfield doesn't deserve a second chance. Like, nah, make it make sense, man. Yeah, other than that, just wanted to touch quickly. MLB broke some news today. They agreed with the players to keep the rule, with the runner starting on second to start extra innings. Every inning of extra innings, your team gets to start with the runner at second. You guys know the rule if you watch baseball at all. But I don't like this rule. I never was a fan of that, so I'm not happy to see it. I might sound like, kind of like the grumpy old guy here, because I'm going to say I'm not really happy to see the universal DH, which they also talked about. They announced that earlier on in this process, but both the NL and the AL this year are going to have the designated hitter. Personally, I've always been a fan of the strategy that comes involved with the pitcher hitting, having to bunt, maybe get runners over in the scoring position, things of that nature. So, yeah, it is what it is. Those are the 2 big rules that, that are, well, the second base rule, the extra innings rule was already in, but universal DH, that's going to be weird for me to get, used to, but the players want it, so I'm not going to be too mad. Last one, the MLB, they also agreed to a rule that allows pitchers to remain in the game as batters after they exit the game as a pitcher. So pretty much you can call that the Shohei Ohtani rule. This is going to make it easier for the Angels to use him, as a DH at the same time that he's a pitcher. They can sub in a pitcher and also don't have to, make shift changes or whatever, line changes, and get him in a different position as the DH. Or I'm not even sure how they were making that work before, but this will make it easier. Shohei Ohtani rules. I think he might be the best player in the league right now, just because, he's not like the absolute best hitter, but he's probably like top 5, top 10. And he's not like the absolute best pitcher, but he's probably like top 5, top 10. So that's kind of amazing. Look out for Shohei this year. I'm getting excited for baseball season. Hopefully you guys are too. And hopefully you guys got something good out of this Nerds at 9. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. Help your boy out. Like this video. Really helps other people. Helps the algorithm out. Help it get in front of other people. And if you know anybody that likes sports, put them onto the podcast, man. Other than that, keep nerding it up. I'll be back on Thursday. No Wednesday episodes. Actually, no, I will not be back on Thursday. There will not be a Thursday episode this week. I have something I got to do. Gotta pay the bills around here. But other than that, I'll do an episode tomorrow just because I'm not doing it on Thursday. So I'll be back tomorrow. Keep nerding it up. I'm out of here. Peace.